Some people had a really good pandemic and some people had an awful time.
Each one of us was having a ripple effect on everyone else.
I was thinking about how important windows were during the pandemic.
We were all isolated, but we soon found ways to connect with each other.
How do I negotiate this new reality?
Remembering Together is a Scotland-wide project reflecting on COVID and creating memorials in all of the different local authorities across Scotland. Shetland Arts, in partnership with Shetland Islands Council, is leading on Shetland's memorial. I really want to do an artist update, and we commissioned 5 local artists to create a COVID memorial in response to the project's Phase 1 consultation process. For Phase 1, we commissioned Christina Inkster to do a consultation process through art, where she met with groups and individuals all across the Isles to find out what they felt reflecting on COVID and what they would want for a memorial of it in their communities.
COVID for me was a time of darkness.
It really changed my priorities.
I remember peaceful days.
So what really excites me is these artists all working in such different ways with different communities and letting them process it through different mediums.
I was very taken by Christina's work, and I was very keen that that collection of comments and stories from everyone, that it had another life. I'm Malcolm Innes, I'm a light artist. The project title is Back to the Light. The whole project I'm doing is in 2 parts. So one part is Together, and that's projections at Mariel, and this is Apart. This is a series of individual projections at sites around Shetland, places that had been busy and during lockdown were no more. Because it's apart from everything else, it's really not about experiencing it in person. I'm going for the light, the sunlight going through the waves. When I was first thinking about it, the thing that was stuck in my head in terms of visual imagery, each one of us was having a ripple effect on everyone else. Some sets of imagery which is specifically for one of your pieces, and then other sets of imagery where the music runs over the top.
I wanted to create something that had that kind of Shetland Scandinavian style.
We've got a Connect sensor, and as you move your hands, it tracks where your hands are, and you will be creating ripples wherever your hands are. This came from that sense of fear that actually our actions can cause harm to others. But there was also the flip side. Small things that we do can have positive effects as well. We went through a period of darkness, and gradually we are emerging from that.
You were learning words like herd immunity,
Post-COVID syndrome.
Shielding.
I'm JJ Jamieson, and along with fellow creative practitioner Liz Musser, we're collaborating on a video installation called Connected Memories. The first part of the project is called Reflect, and that's where we ask a cross-section of the Shetland community to listen to sounds that were recorded during the pandemic.
A legal requirement to stay at home except for...
And then we ask them to respond to those sounds.
So it was definitely very strange.
Forgotten about all the uncertainty.
The second part of the project is called Connect, and that's where we ask them to respond to each other.
I'd love to know what other people's experiences were during the pandemic.
I got out walking a lot at that time, which probably helped.
I think video is a powerful medium for collecting people's memories.
And there's something about a person looking you straight in the eyes and sharing their experience that connects you instantly to them and to yourself too.
There seem to be more birds, they seem to be singing happier. It's really important is no matter what you feel like, you find some joy.
So, feeling that much more mindful about, I suppose, life, I guess.
The stories people shared really had an impact on us, and we hope that it has the same positive effect on others.
During COVID.
My project is to do a map of Breslau which documents how people looked after their well-being during the height of the pandemic. I'm Christie, I'm a painter, illustrator. You said Beoster's a family home and I enjoy the views north. I am talking to various community groups about what they did, where they went. Did you get yourself out and about? I think the island has a story to tell. Some people had a really good pandemic and some people had an awful time. The really interesting part of what I've been doing is sitting in a group and everyone listening to the other person while they share. Right. I had 2 children and a husband who were all teaching or learning from home. I was trying to do small amounts of work. I was having to provide 3 meals a day. So I have never been busier than I was during the pandemic. For me, art is about taking myself away from all my responsibilities, which I have quite a lot of. It's meditative. It will become a leaflet, so there'll be a map on one side, and on the other side there'll be any other hints and tips. A big copy of the map will be in the wellbeing room at Spiteri on Brexit. I wanted to just share a bit more. So while there are just sentences on the leaflet, this just gives more context. I hope people will use my map. I hope they'll take it out and go, oh, didn't know you could walk there, I'll go there, or I might try and make this recipe. Just, I'll do something to look after myself.
I'm a musician, primarily a percussion player. I'm also a composer and a sound artist. We were all going through this COVID period, and this domino effect of one concert cancelled after another, after another, after another. From being a really busy traveling musician, I was spending a lot of time at home. How do I negotiate with this new reality? The title of the whole body of work is called Drift into an Elsewhere. I wanted to think in terms of how does my experience of someone who's living in Shetland, surrounded by this openness and calmness and what nature is giving back to me, and how can I translate that into a sonic fabric? There are like different layers of this project. So there's the sound, field recordings. I'm hearing this amazing drone sound. The music aspect, some of it is percussive bass, and I also wrote music for a string quartet, but I also wanted to have the element of spoken word. From the document that I had from phase 1, I extracted some things which I reshaped into poems.
In a timeless dance of renewal.
The music that I've written for this project has got this kind of cyclic feel to it. There isn't much complexity. Actually, there's a lot of transparency in it. The music will be on a CD. It will also be on online platforms. I really want people to kind of let go and let the music drift them into another elsewhere.
The process in knitting and the products in knitting are really identified we Shetland. It's about love. If you knit something for somebody, it's an expression of love. I'm Helen Robertson and I'm a textile artist. My project is to knit Shetland trees alive and put like a circle in the middle so that the tree of life in Liss in Shetland is a really well-known symbol. It means growth and togetherness and community in life and death. It's not just a tree of life, it's like a development of the tree of life. And then it's all going to be encased in glass. I've known Cheryl forever. I know her work, I know how easy she is to work with too.
Yeah. We need to do that before we start marking 21 of them.
Yeah. I was thinking about how important windows were during the pandemic and how folk were kind of inside looking out through a window, or they were outside looking in through a window. And it kind of connected folk through glass, and it also disconnected folk. So the circle that I'm applying is a kind of break in the pattern, and it's symbolic of the interruption of our lives. The whole project I named Tree of Life Interrupted. I'm making 21 of these, and each community council and island will receive one. And then this is the flag that the symbol has been printed on, and it'll be flying for the Lardwick Town Hall on the 29th of May, which is the anniversary of the lifting of the first lockdown. Obviously some folk had a horrendous time during COVID, and other folk didn't have such a bad time. So it's trying to pay respect to both of that groups of folk.